What's up, guys? My name is Spencer, and welcome to my very first YouTube video. I just want to say that in no way, shape, or form am I going to claim to be a professional in really any of the categories that I'm going to show you guys stuff in. And I've done a lot of different things throughout my life, and obviously I'm still young. I still have a lot to learn, and hopefully I can help you guys out. And just know that, like I said, I'm not actually a professional at any of this stuff, but it's simple enough stuff that anybody can figure out, and that's kind of the whole point of the channel. So hope you guys enjoy. All right, first project I'm going to kind of show you guys here is, I don't have my microphone on, but all right, so first project I'm going to show you guys that I'm doing right now is a window well cover for window wells. Obviously, you can buy these, but my whole point with this is that you can build these yourself. You know, the materials, obviously materials, cost of materials is kind of somewhat coming down from what it was during COVID, but stuff is still expensive. To buy something like this or similar for a window well cover is going to be upwards of 200 bucks. Some of the nicer ones can get more expensive than that, but this is just going to help people to not fall through. Now, all right, so obviously you can still get your foot through here, especially if you're a kid, a dog, chicken, whatever. You can still get your foot through here, but all you're going to do is you're going to get in here, they're going to get stuck, and the kid's going to be like, Mom, help me, I'm stuck in the window well cover because Dad made them with too big of gaps. You're going to get that, and that's fine because you just go pick them up, or they can probably get out themselves, but they're not falling through the window well 5 feet down and bouncing their head off of the window and then breaking the window, and now you got to replace your window, and hopefully we don't have to do a video on that. So good enough for what we're trying to do. What I've already done here, and I'll walk you guys through how I built this. Probably when I do the next one, I have 3 more to do. So basically, I took 2x4s here, and for those of you that don't know, let me grab a tape measure. So this is a 2x4, just a little scrap piece that I have. And what I want to show you guys is when we talk about 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, whatever it is, whatever the case may be, the actual size of these is something to keep in mind. They're not actually 2 inches by 4 inches. This is actually 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So keep that in mind. But for those of you that don't know what a 2x4 is, that's a 2x4. So what I did is I took 2x4s, laid 2 of them down for the width, took 2 of them, cut them down for the depth, if you will, and I just laid these on top of them and screwed them down. I don't know if you guys can see that, but just laid them on top, put 2 screws in them. I did angle all of these pieces just mostly for looks, but also so there's not a gross corner hanging out there. I don't really like that. So basically then what I did with these, and you can buy, this is essentially a 2x2. What I did was I took a 2x6 and ripped it down with a table saw, which I will show you guys eventually, but I just ripped them down to 1.5 by 1.5. So it's basically the same thing as a 2x2. So this is, I've already put this on my window well and stood on it, jumped on it. This is not going to break unless this wood starts to get rotted out. Now, one thing I will say is typically when you're doing any woodwork outside, you really want to have treated wood. What that means is they treat the wood so that it actually holds up better outside. Water, stuff like that isn't going to penetrate and rot it out. Now, wood in general, if you don't maintain it and treat it properly, it's going to rot out eventually. But what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to stain and seal both sides just because it is outside with basically the same stain I'm going to use for my deck. So hopefully that'll take care of everything and make sure that these last a long time. I'm still going to probably have to redo them every couple of years, but that's kind of the price you pay. So with that being said, the price of what I have into this, I mean, a couple 2x4s, which are what, $5 a piece these days, some 2x6s. I mean, really, I probably have, screws. It's probably like $20 maybe into this whole thing with the stain, maybe a little bit more. But in reality, this is a really cheap way to do this, and it's gonna hold up really well. It's like I said, it's on plastic sawhorses right now, but it's not going to go anywhere. So what I'm gonna do, and I should say, so I already sanded this whole area, this whole top part, and the reason that the video is not going to show that is because I wasn't recording when I did that. So I will show you though how to do it. This is a palm sander, random orbital palm sander. This one is made by the Red Company. It has Velcro or hook and loop, if you will, on there. This is a 5-inch. So if you measure it out, it's going to be 5-inch. And, oh, you guys can't see that. So it's going to be 5-inch. And basically what you're going to do, if I can find my sandpaper. So basically, you take your sandpaper here, which I just picked up from a local hardware store, line it up with your, oh my word, if I can line it up with your holes, put it on there, and then it's just Velcro. So this does have speed settings on it right here. So you can change the speed. It goes all the way up to 6, all the way down to 1. And I usually have it about 3.5, 4. It doesn't need to be too crazy fast. This is one of those tools that's not necessary. It's not needed, right? So it's not needed to do the job, but it works really well for sanding a lot of stuff like this. You can do this by hand. I mean, you can take this off and sit here and do this all day long, and you will be here all day long. But you take this, throw it on there, and turn it on. And you're done. So, no splinters, nice and smooth. This helps a lot. But you don't need to spend a lot of money. They make cordless versions, which are really expensive and really nice, but I have a corded version. You got to lug this cord around everywhere. It's kind of annoying sometimes, but this was fairly inexpensive. And guys, you don't need to buy brand new tools. Go on Marketplace, go on Craigslist. I'll show you some of the tools I've got. A lot of them I didn't buy new. So you don't have to, you can pick one of these up for probably $20 if you find one used. I mean, really. I mean, the sandpaper, I think I bought a pack of 50 and it was $25. Probably a little bit expensive, but it was at the local hardware store. I didn't have to drive too far, so that worked out nicely. So basically, I'm going to take this, and this is 120 grit sandpaper. So the numbers, the higher the number, the finer the grit. So if I was doing an 80 grit, this would be really rough, and it would honestly hurt to even drag my hand across. But that's going to take out a lot of like harder imperfections. You're really sanding down the wood a lot to almost create a different shape, if you will. Where this is just going to kind of take, it's going to take the splinters out. It's going to make it nice and smooth. I can go smoother. I can go to a 220. You can go to a 4. I mean, again, you can go to a 3000 grit if you want, which is basically like a piece of paper. But 120 grit is going to take all my splinters out. It's going to make this smooth enough. It's not anything. If this was a table or something like that where people are actually be touching it, yeah, I'd go a little bit higher on the grit side, make it a little bit smoother. But for what we're doing here, 120 grit is totally fine. And it's just going to take, like I said, it's just going to make it so it's not splintered, stuff like that. So like I said, I did already go through this with the sander. I will show you guys. I'm just going to hand sand some of this. I kind of screwed this up because I should have sanded all these down first. Now I can't get my sander in there. So I'm going to have to hand sand all these pieces inside, which is fine. I'm not going to go too crazy with it because it's not like anybody's going to be stepping on this. And in reality, nobody should be stepping on it anyway. But we're going to sand it down anyway. All right. All right, so there we go. This whole top part's sanded. I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna do the other side, and then I'll kind of show you guys how I like to clean things up to get them prepped for staining. And I don't know where my watch went, but that might be a tomorrow thing. I might need to, might call this a night. It's already like 10 o'clock. So as I mentioned before too, I am not a professional in anything I'm doing. I don't have any carpentry background. I mean, I took some classes in high school, built a house in high school. That was really cool, but I don't have any sort of professional background in this. So by all means, if there are professionals watching and I'm doing something wrong, don't be afraid to tell me. I'm really good at accepting criticism. So if you guys are looking at this going, what in the world is this guy doing? Drop me a comment, whatever. I don't know how this YouTube thing works yet, but comment, let me know. If you guys find this helpful, let me know. Feedback is good or bad. Helps me figure out how to make things better for you guys. So let me know what you think. And like I said, I'm going to call it a night.